Hello and welcome to another Homebrew Wednesday with me, Gary Jackson. This is Ollie's Brew Co. Very quick video this evening. What I want to do is revisit an old friend who wasn't really that much of a friend. This is a nondescript bottle, so stay tuned to find out what that is. And then we're going to go through the plans for the remainder of this year. I'm recording this, and it doesn't matter when I'm recording, it's the middle of September. And I want to talk about plans for the tail end of this year and going into the next year. Really starting to think about St. Patrick's Day. Which brings me back to my old friend. Don't be a gusher, don't be a gusher, don't be a gusher. Well, that went well. So that didn't quite go according to plan. So this is what is left of the salted caramel stout. I don't think there was anything else to it. It was just salted caramel stout. If you remember, the video was published back on the 27th of April, and one of my big issues with the beer was that it wasn't carbonated. I didn't try and recarbonate it or anything. I just left it to condition then for what are we talking, April? Well, it was bottled on in March, so March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months, and that's what happened. There'll be different bottles with different levels of carbonation. Incredible. So we may as well do a very quick tasting on it. Despite the fact it's cremola foam, basically, it is a nice colour, cappuccino I would call that. A nice cappuccino head there. Could do with probably being to about there, probably enough. We can actually see some of the yeast floating on the top. So on the nose then. Getting like a roasted, like a stout smell basically. There's not a lot going on there, a bit of coffee maybe. What I would say about it though, the appearance wise, if I remember rightly, this was almost a brown ale rather than a dark stout. And whilst I can still see the brown colour when I hold it right up tight to the light from here, and from what I can see in the camera, it looks black. So probably with the head as it is, we're probably talking a 2 out of 5. But I'll give it a 3 out of 5 just because it would be good if I could have calmed the head down, which isn't the beer's fault, it's my fault for pouring stroke carbing it wrong. On the nose, not getting a whole lot. I wonder, as I get down it, will I get more? There's a slight hint of like a sweet note there. But basically it's dark roasted notes I'm getting here. Mouthfeel then, if I can get to the bloody beer. It'll be no surprise to you whatsoever that this is a highly carbonated beer. Despite that though, the mouthfeel is quite thick, quite full-bodied. I can't remember if there's lactose in this or not, but it is quite full-bodied, and it is a pleasant mouthfeel, even with that extra fizziness. Kind of coats your mouth in like a glass of milk. Probably there's lactose in it actually, thinking about it. I'm trying to get rid of some of this head or unify it or something. So mouthfeel then, yeah, the fizziness takes away from it, it does. So it is going to drop back to probably a 2. So We'll go into flavour now because that's what's next. Um, I'm not even picking up a hint of caramel on that whatsoever. Uh, I'm getting all the roast barley, roasted notes, dark, bitter chocolate. There's a bit of an astringency there. Bitterness, not so much. It's, it's juicy in a way as well, but not a. It's not a. What was it? It was actually called salted caramel stout. Yeah. There's a sweetness there, which is obviously come from the caramel, but there's no salted caramel there whatsoever. And to me, salted caramel is basically my equivalent of heroin. I am addicted to it. I will eat salted caramel crisps if they made them, chocolate, whatever. If it even hit, tell you the nicest chocolate bar on the market, in just in your local Spar, is the salted caramel Twix that they do. Oh my god, it's incredible. But anyway, then, so on flavour, then it's a 2. So what would we give it? A 3 for appearance. I'll probably give it a 1 actually on the nose. So that's 3 out of 10 so far. Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but 3 out of 10 is not great. Mouthfeel, brought it back a wee bit with mouthfeel. What did I do? Did I drop it to 2 or 3 for mouthfeel because of the fizziness? So we'll say 2. So that's 3, 4, 5, and then flavour at 2 again, probably. 7 out of 20. How disappointing! And it's actually, the thing is, it's a nice enough beer. I'll probably open another one here when I finish this over the sink. But these are the scores, and this is integrity, bitches. All right. So just because it's my beer, doesn't mean I'm going to score it high or low, or high or low. So what do we do? 7 out of 20. Shit. I'm going to actually start writing these down. I don't need to write down. I've got it in video. Cheers, guys. Thanks for bearing with me on that one. A much more civilized beer. Oh, this is throwing my train of thought way out. Guys and girls, so basically, so what brought me to that point was I had watched the Get Her Brewed. So Get Her Brewed, obviously, they supply all the homebrew stuff to people. They're one of a few companies that do it, and they're the one that is based here in Northern Ireland. They have their own YouTube channel now. I have done for quite a while, but they're really putting out some real good content recently. And one of the things they did recently was visit St James Gate, the home of the black stuff, as it's called. And that got me thinking about stout again. So Get Her Brewed are basically, they're trying to develop a Guinness clone that they can sell as a homebrew kit, I think is the gist of it. And they go through and try and work out how to do it. And then I watched the video, I don't want to spoil it, but basically the guy from Guinness is like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you the secret recipe, but this is the secret recipe, well, parts of it. You can't have our yeast, which is fair enough. It's proprietary. I think that means there's a trademark on it. And the other thing that homebrewers can't do is nitrous, which I think is wrong. I think I've seen people put nitrous in their beers, in their stouts, and put the stout taps on. Is that not a thing? It's not something I would do. I don't drink enough stout, so it wouldn't interest me in the slightest. But it got me thinking, I've brewed 2 stouts over the years. It's generally St. Patrick's Day. I'll brew a stout for St. Patrick's Day. Last year was the Stronghold Coffee Stout, which was nice, but didn't have enough coffee in it. It turned into a gusher as well. After I left it for a year, it turned into a gusher. It was properly carbonated on St. Patrick's Day last year, or 2 years ago, can't remember when. But obviously, the newest one, the salted caramel one, which I copied from Brew a Bit Rick, who copied from Hapless Ginger Hapless Brewer, the Holy Ginger Trinity. But it was one of the things that I was really disappointed about. It was undercarbonated. It was all bottle conditioned. So I've left it out in the sort of cooler of my 2 sheds out the back all summer. Now, granted, we did have a bit of a hot summer this year, but that bottle had been in my fridge for the best part of 3 days now, so you'd have thought it would have cooled down. So I have quite a lot of glass bottles of that, which is slightly worrying. I don't think it's going to get any more carb than it is now, so I think we are where we are. But can it be rescued, guys? Leave a comment down below. Can it be rescued? Is there anything I can do with them glass bottles with the lids, crown caps, that's what they're called, with the crown caps to sort of degas it a bit? I do have 6 bottles, PET twisty ones, which I was going to send out, and then I was so disappointed with it I didn't bother. So they actually, the lids of them are ballooned, so you know, and I've opened one of them while you were waiting, but you weren't waiting because I'll cut that out. But I opened one of them and it fizzed up. You know, I was able to. So I know how to degas that, but how do I do that with the crown caps? Any ideas? I don't know, drop me a message down below. Anyway, so yes, so get a brewed stout, my old stouts. Also, then I've also watched. I'm sure everybody subscribes to the Apartment Brewer, the American guy from New England, I believe, who I watched some of his videos. I don't necessarily watch them in order, but I watched one that he did about a Irish Red Ale, which he did for St. Patrick's Day, and then that got me thinking, ooh, I like red ale. I would drink a lot of red ale. I drink a lot of Irish red ale if I'm out in Belfast or anything like that. But he got me thinking, because there's a bit in it where he says, no, I'm not going to do the accent. He says basically that an Irish red ale should be thin-bodied, and I was like, no! But then I started thinking about it. Smithwick's is really thin-bodied, and that would be sort of the local one here in Northern Ireland. You've got Hallion, which is brewed by Whitewater Brewery here in Northern Ireland, which is a local craft brewery, and it's quite thin-bodied. In fact, that's my biggest bugbear with it, because it is absolutely fantastic, but it is thin-bodied. And then I started thinking about what I thought an Irish Red Ale was, and I'm thinking of things like Kilkenny or Caffrey's, which are, well, Caffrey's probably isn't even a red. It's probably like some sort of a cream ale, but anyway. But the thing about it is, when you used to get that on draft in the bars, it used to come through the nitro tops, like Guinness, and that's maybe where I'm getting mixed up. Thin-bodied, full-bodied. So I decided I would probably brew his version of an Irish Red, and then I might do the same thing again, but then try and beef it up and see if I actually do want to have a full-bodied red. See if when I try it, is it something I actually want? I also then thought, well, can't break with tradition. I'm going to have to do my traditional Irish stout for St. Patrick's Day. Traditional to me, not a traditional stout, because you don't put coffee and you don't put salted caramel in your stout if it's traditional. But I don't know what to do for this year's one. I have a plan for a stout, but I don't think it's a St. Patrick's Day stout. Watch this space for that one, because I'm not revealing anything. I have scoured the internet and I've seen one video in the entire internet. Bear in mind, it took me 20 minutes to search. I didn't do a deep dive. relating to the type of beer that I've got in my head here. It's on Get It Brewed. I've everything done to a certain level. But the secret is still a secret for now. And then I was thinking, well, I could do like a fruit stout for St. Patrick's Day this year. So I was asking about fruit syrup in like a black currant stout, something like that. Because some people who don't like stout, you'll get black currant, you'll get Guinness and Black. I think Guinness and Black, yeah. So you like put a little bit of black currant cordial in it or whatever. So yeah, that's something that I'm maybe thinking about. I don't know. So guys, if you want to see more highlights like this, sure, don't bear gosh here. Then don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the goddamn bell. Oh dear. I don't think I have anything else to say to these guys. I have 20 minutes in this bit and probably another 5 minutes of the beers. Oh, jeepers. Alright lads, happy Homebrew Wednesday, happy autumn, happy... Do you want to see me spit the beer out again? I'll put another wee bit of that on. Sláinte. 1, 2, 3, 14. Hello and welcome on Homebrew Wednesday.